So I don't know what it is, but I am craving pizza, but I still want to be in full goddess force tomorrow. You know, I don't want to derail. So I thought this would be a perfect day to show you how to make pizza of the goddesses. And it's so easy. That's why I love this recipe, and it's so flexible. You can pretty much use whatever you have in your refrigerator. All right, let's get started. The most important ingredient though that you need is, oh, it's right here, low carb tortillas. Now, the trick with this is to read the label. There are so many tortillas that claim that they're low carb and they're actually not, all right? So look at the back. If it's around 11 or 12 grams, that is actually low carb. Sometimes they'll try to trick you and talk about net carbs, and it'll say 5 net carbs on the back. It's like 34 actual carbs. That's not really low carb, okay? Next thing we need is spaghetti sauce or pizza sauce. Just make sure, again, it's low in sugar, around 11 carbs per half of a cup, okay? Next thing we need is mozzarella cheese, hormone and antibiotic free. You can also get the fancy blend kind if you're feeling fancy. If you want to keep it real simple, we could just make a margherita pizza with some tomatoes, some nice juicy plump tomatoes, and some basil. Now this is a lot of basil. You don't need this much basil. This is just what they happen to have at the store today. So I have a feeling that a lot of the recipes of the goddesses this week are going to be basil inspired, so I can figure out a way to use all of this. And then just to get your creative juices flowing, I'm going to give you an example of my favorite pizza. Some mushrooms, red onion, some ricotta cheese, because that is my favorite thing in the world, fresh arugula. If you've never had arugula, I'm about to rock your world today. Some black olives, oops, and that'll do it. We're gonna preheat our oven to 350 degrees. Now we're gonna get started slicing, and the key to slicing is thin and small because we're working with a tortilla, and so we don't wanna make it soggy. We want it to be crispy like a pizza, all right? So we take our tomatoes really thin, almost like a piece of tomato paper. See how thin. Okay, if you can get it even thinner than this, then you win. Mushrooms, same thing, thin slices. And you only need a couple for each pizza because it's gonna fill up really fast. Same thing with the olives, same thing with the onions, especially with the onions. It needs to be paper thin so that they cook while it's in the oven, because we're not gonna cook them for very long in the oven. Since we're using fresh basil, be sure to wash it. And what I like to do is stick it in a salad spinner and spin it around to get all the moisture off. Again, we're trying to keep all the ingredients dry and thin so we don't make the tortilla slash goddess pizza crust soggy. Get it? Things are magical. And you can see all the water that comes off. Did you hear that? Yeah. Now, these are not going to be super soggy. Same thing with the arugula. We're going to wash it, put it in the salad spinner, spin all the water off. Now we're going to prepare the tortillas so that they're thin and crispy and taste just like a thin crust pizza. First step, get a non-stick pan, stove to medium high-ish. For your pan, grab your tortilla. Now for those of you out there who are thinking, I know exactly what to do from here on out. You don't, okay? Because this is the absolute trick. Put the tortilla in the pan, but you don't stop there. Get a pot lid, something around the same size as the tortilla. We're gonna press this tortilla down, and you're just trying to keep the bubbles out of it. If you skip this step, it's just not gonna turn out right. So we flipped it over, and you can see how nice and golden brown that is. So then we're just gonna mash it down again with the lid, so it looks nice and beautiful like that on the other side. So our next step is we're going to get some tin foil. I happen to have a pizza baking sheet. You don't really need a specialized pizza one. You can use a regular one. But just get some tin foil and we're going to cover it. Just less cleanup is more goddess-like, hands down, always. We're going to cover that. Grab your nice, crispy now tortilla. Look at that. Hear that? That means it is crispy and ready to be the pizza of the goddesses. So exciting. All right, so we're gonna put that on our tin foil. Next step is spaghetti sauce. Again, do not load this up. You do not want to ruin the crispy tortilla at this point. We've worked too hard. These are tiny spoonfuls. You spread it around super thin. Next comes the mozzarella cheese. Sprinkle it on sparingly, but be sure to cover the entire tortilla. Then I like to put the tomatoes on first. Then I like to put the basil leaves on. Then onions. Just a few. Again, you don't want to load this thing down. So if you chop more than you need, it's okay. Just save it for tomorrow. Olives. You know what's really fun about this too is if you have kids, you can get them involved at this point. Mushrooms, and then the ricotta. You want teeny tiny little spoonfuls, 5 little droplets, because it's gonna melt. Oh, and it's gonna be so good. Then if you really want to get fancy, you can use some sort of seasoning like Italian. They even have pizza seasoning. And this really does add a nice little flair to it, especially if you're serving this for company or something. So now we're going to put it in the oven. Remember, it's 350 for about 10 to 12 minutes. Just keep an eye on it because it'll go really fast. So basically the goal is you want all the cheese to be melted and all of your vegetables to be soft and cooked. Look at how delicious that is, and it's just going to get even better for you arugula fans and soon to be arugula fans. Grab your arugula. You don't need to even cook it. This is the beauty of it. You throw it right on top. Oh my gosh, it adds such a nice little fresh little You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it, love it, love it, love it. You can slice them really thin, and they make like this cute little appetizer for parties. You can leave them as is and fold them up and eat them like a calzone. Or if you're just making them for yourself, what I usually do is just cut them into 4s and manja. Oh my god. This is so delicious. The beauty of this is we're eating pizza right now. Tomorrow, you're going to feel like you ate a salad. No derailing. You feel like a goddess. This is pizza of the goddesses. I can't wait for you to try this.